All right, so now we're into the 5.4 section of the review, sum and difference identities. So if you want to have those notes out to look back on, you can. We want to find the exact value of each trig function, or excuse me, each trig expression. We don't know cosine of negative 15 because negative 15 is not one of the reference angles around the unit circle that we've memorized. However, we can use our cosine sum or difference identities, and I'll copy it over here. It's this one here. Oops, not in a new window. Oh, we can use this cosine sum or difference identity to replace negative 15 with two terms that add or subtract to give you negative 15. Okay, so it could be several different numbers that you choose, but it needs to be angles from the unit circle that we do know the values of for this to be helpful at all. Okay, so I'm going to use 30 minus 45. 30 minus 45 is the same thing as negative 15. So I'm going to now call 30 my u, and it's going to get substituted in everywhere I would see the u. I'm going to call 45 my v, and it's going to get substituted in here. Now, the thing is, we are doing the cosine difference formula, because when we've got it in this like condensed form, it's a minus. But remember, notice in the formula, the identity, when you see that plus or minus, when you go over here in the expanded version, it's flipped, minus plus. It's because you changed the sign. So when we expand this, we need to be careful and make sure we use the opposite sign. So we're actually going to use a plus sign over here. So this is going to be cosine of 30, cosine of 45, plus sine of 30, sine of 45. Now I can replace, and those are being multiplied there and there. And I can replace all four of those because I know sine and cosine at 30 and 45 degrees. You can bust out your unit circle if you need to. But we know these values, should have them memorized. At 30 degrees, cosine is root 3 over 2. And sine is 1/2. At 45 degrees, cosine and sine are both root 2 over 2. Okay, so we put in the actual values there, and we're going to multiply. When you're multiplying radicals, you multiply what's underneath the radicals. So that becomes root 6, and you multiply straight across the bottom, so that becomes 4. That stays root 2, and that becomes 4. Common denominator, so I can go ahead and combine those, but I cannot, in the numerator, actually add those two radicals together because they have different values under the radicands. So that's as far as I can take that one. Can't simplify any further.